All right, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, everyone had a wonderful weekend. We're coming in about a minute before the close here. Just wanted to kind of capture what's happening. We had a bit of bamboozled price action here on Sunday. You don't really trust Sunday's action, but now the futures market's open, so we can kind of get a good idea of what's to come here in the coming days, maybe even for this week. So right this very moment, Tether is still long here on the weekly. We do have a cross down on Tether. We're going to actually finish this. We're just closing this candle right now. So we didn't actually get, the cross back below the 80 line for like a weekly sell or anything just yet. But just to kind of take note here, the money flow index on the weekly chart kind of hit this top area here. And usually when we get into these extremities, we get bounces in the market. So I'm going to kind of go on a whim here. Well, that's interesting. We're printing a weekly counter trend short here. Right now. I mean, obviously this candle just opened. So, but this could be, after white candles on a breakout, typically after a breakout, you do get a retest, right? And so on the retest, that's where we could get our nice relief rally that we're all hoping that we get here. I think that we are going to maybe do that in the coming weeks, maybe going into January sometime. All right. The weekly RSI up here at like an 80 level. The 3-day RSI, the 3-day RSI still looks obviously, kind of bullish, but it's sitting up here. Okay. We'll see if we actually do get this relief. It is possible that this can just continue higher. So it's because it's so bullish on the high time frames. These lower time frames are showing a bit of just very overbought. So, okay. We'll look at Bitcoin here. It is kind of holding some levels. We'll take a look at it. Okay, so here's the Bitcoin chart for now. We are holding above the, I believe it's the 100-week moving average for now. And what I think, if we do get relief to the upside here, I'd be targeting, right around this $100,000 region, maybe even up to this 104 region where we actually broke down from. If we are heading into a bear market, we typically get the mean reversion before we actually get the big breakdown. Okay, so something like that is kind of what we're looking for if we do get this relief, and that kind of would line up with this neckline here and giving us like a major head and shoulders type of structure for that continuation to the downside. Okay, that's kind of what I'd be looking for if we don't just kind of break down where we're at. I don't think we're going to just do that. I think because we are oversold on the 3-day time frame here on the RSI, and the weekly time frame is also basically. It's technically it's not oversold, but it's very low on the RSI right now on the weekly. And we do have we did get a stochastic RSI kind of cross here. It's not a buy signal by any means right now. We would need for this to actually cross the 20 line to be a confirmed weekly signal. And the 2-week chart here is also oversold. We have some oversold weekly and 2-week stochastics that can help produce this move back to the upside. All right. And so that's kind of why I'm giving that analysis here right now. I don't think that this is going to produce us a new all-time high or anything like that, but I do think a mean reversion back up to this fib level here, maybe a little bit above it, would make some sense. Our signals are still short right now. Our 3-week is probably short as well, and our monthly is also short. So there you go. All the high time frames are short, but that doesn't mean we don't get a mean reversion, make a lower high, and then come back down. Okay. And if I end up being wrong, which, by the way, can happen, I'm not I'm not perfect by any means with this market right now. It's a very tricky market to trade, and we do end up taking out 80,000 bucks. I'll say that the next real level here is this $70,000 to $74,000 region, which is that next range low that we will probably kind of tag, right? So this region right here, and these wicks into this region here. All right, so we're like right on this trend line, by the way, that I drew is actually a trend line all the way back from the 2011 top. You can see this was acting as a support here for this blow off move into the super cycle 2013, and then we used it here briefly as support, broke it and reclaimed it going into the 2017 run up, and in this cycle, the 2021 cycle, the 2020 cycle, we actually didn't. We came close on during COVID tagging this, but this cycle it actually has been using it as support all the way up, and now we're coming into this region right now. Okay. Well, that'd be great to see something like that, man. I'm not here calling that stuff right now. I don't see it materialize just yet. If we get those weekly and those 2 week stochastic RSI cross-ups and we see lots of bids come in to push us above those levels, then we can talk about new all-time highs. And if we do start making monthly closures back above 104 and even taking out 109 on a monthly close, yeah, then we can target top of the range 126. And man, if we end up breaking out of this rising wedge, man, well, that'd be a massive move that nobody probably expects, and that would put us right around the $170,000 region on that next fib extension. All right, if we're targeting new all-time highs. All right. So that's basically it. All right. Pretty much everything else to me is just noise right now. We start taking out the $80,000 region, I'd be looking for lower. If we end up holding this region here, I do, like I said before, I think there is a strong chance that we're going to see this relief rally or bounce, maybe coming into January. It might take a few weeks to play out for this move. We'll take a look at NASDAQ and the equities markets here too. All right, so NASDAQ Friday, or NASDAQ right now, I should say, is basically flat. Look at the 3-day chart here. All right, so Friday they attempted to push this thing up. I think we've done about an 886 from this swing high to low. 786. We tagged the 786 extension. If we can start making 3-day closures back above, we'll call it 20. What is that? 25,860. Then we can basically target the 886 and even maybe new all-time highs for the NASDAQ. But if we really do see selling pressure come in here on the 786 fib extension, I'd be looking for lower, right? I'd be looking for 25,430, and this is probably a big order block right here. This region here on the NASDAQ. If we look at the monthly candle on the NASDAQ, I'm not really a big fan of this candle. I mean, it's not like the S&P's candle is a little bit more scary than the NASDAQ. Like this just looks like a big hanging man candle on the monthly time frame. But we haven't seen any follow through on the sell pressure. We haven't seen any of that yet. Also, the monthly on the S&P isn't in extreme territories just yet on the money flow, so that could mean we have some more room to run on the S&P. Yeah, our RSI is up here at 77, but it looks like we had an RSI break here at 76. And this could maybe run to the 80 levels. Maybe it could run to the 90 levels. I mean, I don't know how high this is going to go. But, watch this level up here, roughly this 80 level here on the monthly chart for the S&P. And, yeah, we went through NASDAQ. We went through S&P a bit. We'll go look at gold. Gold is still extremely bullish looking. It tagged its weekly resistance here. No break just yet. It could end up breaking it this week. We don't really have any. The momentum here is not slated to the upside on the weekly. So it may not break actually, but we'll see. I mean, it could just be consolidating up here. It's pretty bullish up here right now. There's no reason to be super bearish on gold here. I mean, we could see it come back down and retest this low and maybe try to find some sort of base and go sideways or something. You know, watch this range low at 39.29. If it ends up taking that out, then we can target, you know, the breakout area here around 3,500 if it takes that out. That's basically it for gold. Silver and still a pretty massive breakout on the monthly chart. I'd be targeting like $60 here in the short term. That's like a couple dollar move here. It's not a big deal. Maybe even 70 potentially. I have a major fib target here up at 100. I don't know if it's going to get there, but you can see that the volume is being supported by this move. CLPT, we'll take a look at it. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. December is historically a very bullish month for market equities going into the end of the year here. So, you know, I'm not like too bearish on any of this stuff right now, but it's just cautionary. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of that I'm sitting on. Maybe I could sell some of that. CLPT, we'll take a look at it. Nice. Oh, wow. So this actually ended up playing out. I drew this. Yeah, this actually ended up playing out perfectly. I mean, not perfectly, but I thought we would come into this neckline pullback and then break. It just broke right through it, huh? Nice. Okay, cool. Very nice, man. Very, very nice. Yeah, that's a pretty nasty rejection though, dude. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't look too hot now, right? It looks like you had a fake, not a fake break, but you had this breakout, massive breakout on volume and gap down after that. I mean, that's, yeah, I would see what it does down here at this 10.25 region, but you don't really have any real edge on this chart right now. Maybe find another asset to trade. You know, this might just kind of peter out for a while. They own AI-driven neurology, full stack. Okay, cool. Watch this long-term trend line here. Okay, this long-term trend line here. This could turn into maybe an ascending triangle of sorts if it comes down here and like holds this major trend line, and maybe like starts using it as support and sort of grinds up, and then maybe you can get like a major breakout, maybe later on, 2028, 2029 or something. I don't know how long this is going to take to play out, dude. Don't know. But there are some stocks that actually look pretty good right now. We gave the Rivian call a while ago, probably around the $12, $13 level. This actually ended up breaking out finally of this structure. $24 looks like it's on deck once it really starts to move. You got the monthly, you know, bullish divergence here on the RSI. Price coming down, RSI going up on the monthly like that. So this is going to produce some nice upside action here. Looks like you're in a pretty big monthly squeeze that you're breaking right now. So monthly squeeze is breaking. This could be months of upside to come here on Rivian. All right. Nice, man. Nice. I didn't call it out yet, but I did talk about Moderna a few months back. I think on this trade, I think we took a trade here and it played out pretty nicely, but I think now it's actually really bottomed out. And we've gone sideways here for quite some time. You can see this divergence down here on the monthly RSI. It's putting in a base. You're just curling up here on the monthly now. So I think this is actually where this actually will start to break. So I still think this is, you know, in a nice long-term accumulation zone here. You know, you can easily strategize levels here too. Like you're right at this level here. you start to get this break. You really got nothing until about $70 on something like this, and I think that that's kind of where this could go. If this momentum does shift, then you'd be looking for that break there, and kind of holding up here before you actually get the descending broadening formation breakout, and that could be major if that happens. Okay. So yeah, really easy to strategize a trade setup here. Right? Even if you just bought the top of this candle, right? Whatever. You set your stop here just below these wicks. You give it a little bit of room. We'll look at the DXY in a minute. And even if you're just trading it to here, that's about a 4.79 risk to reward. That's a great trade setup. Okay. This could take some time to play out. This could take some months. All right. It also may not play out, right? That's why you got a tight stop loss here. If this doesn't play out and doesn't get the volume, then you just move on with your life and find another trade setup. But I think this just looks low risk here, with the monthly kind of giving you this clue. Money flow just kind of ticking up here, coming out of bearish momentum territory. You got this trend line here for the MFI break. That looks interesting. You got a bullish cross here coming in on the squeeze. The 3-week here you can see is squeezing. The 2-week and the weekly are going deep into a squeeze here. You got weekly stochastic RSI bullish divergence down here. This actually looks very, very nice for some nice upside. All right, just pay attention. The top of the range here, $35. That could be your area for this trigger point for Moderna to actually make a move. All right, we'll look at the DXY. DXY had a bit of rejection last week, which was good for risk assets. We put in maybe what looks to be maybe a bit of a rising wedge there. We really want to see this actually come down and take out 97. That would be super bullish for the markets for that to happen. Yeah, we'll take a look at Solana too. Don't worry, man. We'll cover some of that stuff. So our weekly signal is still technically long here on our signals. Our 3-day here is also still long. It pulled back here. It just kind of holding above 98.67 for now. But if we're really getting a 50 BPS rate cut, I don't know how long. I don't know if the dollar is really going to hold up here so much. Like, look at the weekly momentum. It's coming down on the weekly. Okay. So if this is coming down and we actually confirm next week, we confirm a cross down like that, I would suspect that the dollar index might even actually continue down. Which is very bullish for risk assets. Okay, so we'll keep paying attention to this, and that should help us navigate through the S&P, Nasdaq, and indices if they are going to go make a blow-off top move or what they're really going to do. All right, kind of at a turning point right now. We really want to see this dollar get completely hosed if we want to see indices continue higher as well. All right, we'll look at Solana. All right, so Sol, yeah, kind of breaking this, I don't know, this channel that I had drawn here, not good. But, looking at rectangle ranges up here, you're still within the bounds of this rectangle. I would say you're still within this horizontal rectangle range here on Solana, but clearly breaking bearish here with Bitcoin and everything else kind of going down that way. I would say if we're gonna see relief a bit in this market, that this range low might hold here for a bit, and we could even come back up to tag the 160s on Solana, like this area right here, the middle. I would say the middle of the range, right, for a mean reversion. Tag that, get rejected. If that happens, then down she goes. That would be multiple touch points off that region. And the bullish case is we break the midline and we get back up to the top of the range. And if Bitcoin's going to make new all-time highs, that means maybe ETH has a chance to make new all-time highs, and then maybe Solana has a chance to break back into the structure. Okay, I'm not going to give you guys like extremely bullish targets right now because this market really looks like trash. All right, and the momentum is slated to the downside on the high time frames. Yeah, we got some oversold conditions right now where we can get these relief rallies. And I think that's what we're going to see. Maybe we're going to see some of that. So, all right. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. So that's your Solana. We'll look at ICP, sure. Wrecked. Yeah, man. Short squeeze pump into the super trend. Back down to the range lows here. Yeah, it looks really bad on the 2-week stochastics. You can see crossing back down, rejecting bullish control zones. Yeah, yikes. Not the best performing asset. Okay. Like even Pulse assets look better than this. You know, no offense to ICP. Like look, PDI is even making a higher low and it actually looks like it broke. PRME, we can look at that, sure. Prime Medicine, all right. Well, this was a bull flag. It did kind of play out in some regard. We got to the golden mean ratio. This kind of looks not so good. It looks like maybe, I mean, okay, you didn't actually come down to this neckline. Well, I guess technically you wicked off of it. But this to me, you know, if you're looking at this as like a kind of a well, this looks interesting. I would monitor this. A break above $5 would be good, and a hold above that. Otherwise, you're just maybe making a right shoulder. You want to not do that. You want to actually break above that and hold it to see higher prices on something like this. Yeah, so you're in a spot right now. You're bouncing off support. You could maybe short-term trade this to $5. I don't know if that's worth doing that. But yeah, that doesn't really look the best. It looks like you may be trying to put in a right shoulder on something like that. All right. If you guys want, you know, maybe end phase energy here is starting to maybe look a little bit better. It hasn't really shown much strength, but this, and also this really also is still just kind of downtrending. We have all these weekly counter trend longs coming in though, which is interesting. There is lots of divergence building here on the weekly and the 2-week, and the monthly is very oversold. So this could be maybe an opportunity. Look at the money flow on the monthly. It's absolutely wrecked. Like this was the top, and maybe this is the bottom for it. We don't know yet, but when you have money flow this deep like this, might be worth trying to take a shot. You got a monthly MACD that started to cross back up. Maybe wait for a rally and a back test. And phase owes you money. Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, there's no structure here really for this. I'm just looking at just, you know, technicals here. Moderna looks a lot better than end phase energy right now. Even fuel cell looks a lot better than end phase energy. Fuel cell here looks like it's trying to maybe break out of this structure. We gave an entry on this at the bottom here at $4. We got rejected here at 12, but it looks like it's trying to higher low here, right? So that to me looks interesting. No break just yet, but you can see the weekly stochastic here is giving you the clue that this could actually be on its way out of here. So this looks interesting to me. And the money flow here is also bullish, right? Got extended here in October. It got overbought on the money flow, and we got that pullback right there. And now we've just kind of put in a higher low. It looks like it's starting to shift its momentum, right? So this to me, it still looks very low risk on this chart. You have this low, the same low. You had this double bottom breakout and the retest. And now you're catching maybe some bids here. We got to see if this actually breaks this week and breaks out of this structure. If not, it's just putting in a lower high, and it can just roll back over. That can happen. But that weekly is telling you that maybe not, right? Momentum is to the upside. And what's really good about this chart is that the monthly time frame is also giving you a clue about some monthly RSI bullish divergence, just in very low risk territory to take trades down here, okay, with a bottom that looks like it was put in, okay? Unlike end phase energy, we don't really know. It's floating around down there and just continuing to try to catch some bids. We'll look at iron. I wanted to show you guys a little bit. iRobot here looks interesting with crazy volume coming in on Friday. $145 million worth of trading volume. That is the biggest volume spike this asset has ever seen. We just covered Rivian, dude. Rivian looks good. So this is interesting. Okay, you have this major trend line up here at $15. I mean, that's where this could be. This could be heading. Okay, it could be heading back up to this trend line. That could be a massive move. This is the largest volume spike this asset's ever seen. All right, so that to me is sounding some alarm bells down here. You came down to the 1.618 golden mean ratio from the swing high to low. That is interesting. You got crazy amount of bull div down here on the monthly. You're just coming out of oversold territory down here. This looks low risk, dude. Like this is how it goes, man. If you're starting to get volume on a name like this down here, it's probably something that you should be paying attention to. Okay. This stock is wrecked. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter if these. Yeah, there you go. So there's heavy short interest. So this can squeeze hard. And this chart is telling you that this is going to squeeze hard. Look at the squeeze on the monthly. Massive. Okay. Pay attention to this. This could be very volatile too. All right. But yeah, so far you've just rejected the weekly super trend, but lots of trading volume coming in Friday. Yeah, it looks very interesting. You know, a break above $7 could trigger you going to $16 a share pretty fast. All right. Something to watch there. What else is on my radar here? Oh yeah, if you guys really want to, you know, short MSTR after this oversold rally or whatever we're going to get, you can just buy and day trade MSTZ, which is the 2x inverse ETF of MSTR. This is a safe way to short it, in my opinion. If you're going to day trade it, I think this is the way to do it. You don't long-term hold something like this, guys. But this is what we would do. Okay. I wouldn't be looking to buy this right now. This clearly looks like it's going to come down and MSTR is probably going to bounce or something. Okay. So that gives us a good clue of what maybe Bitcoin's going to do, right? If MSTZ looks like it's going to pull back, that means MSTR is going to go up. All right. And yeah, you got bubble risk. You're in major bubble risk territory up here. So this is going to come down, right? Yeah. Like you don't want to be buying this right now, in my opinion. You missed this trade. This trade was back here in October when it was $4 a share and it ran up to 16. Wow. Huge move. 4x move on the inverse ETF. Okay. So what could happen here is this actually ends up coming back down to like $6-7 or something. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I'd wait for that to cool off, man, right? Like you don't want to be buying into extreme bubble risk territory stuff on the weekly chart. No, thank you. You can also follow IBIT, yeah. But this is also a really good indicator too, Tog. This is the inverse ETF of MSTR. But yeah, you can watch the flows on IBIT too. We can look at IBIT actually. So IBIT, yeah, IBIT in the long-term channel here didn't break it just yet. So usually you want to buy when you're at bottoms of channels until they break them, then you want to short them, right? Okay, so far so good. We're holding the channel. We do have a bit of divergence here on the daily money flow index. It's the daily though. We can go to the weekly and take a look at that. This actually has room to come down on the weekly. If I'm being honest about it, this could actually come down more on the weekly time frame. We don't have that much data on this chart, though. The 3-day here is signaling oversold. This is the most oversold on the money flow index that IBIT's ever been. So that is something to pay attention to. And yes, we do have a bit of 3-day RSI, bullish divergence here on IBIT. This should actually send this stock up. Good. So Bitcoin should go up. Cool. So the thesis of a relief rally looks promising, at least here in the shorter term. You know, for IBIT, that might be $57 up to maybe $60. This neckline right here that was broken down. Okay. That region right there. Maybe even a little shallower than that if it ends up being really weak, like 54, 55 bucks if we don't break that. But I think that it has enough momentum to do that. But we'll see. Cool. So sounds good. You guys got anything else for me to kind of take a look at tonight? Man, I gotta say, if you guys are in any of the Pulse assets, wrap Bitcoin is holding up pretty good here, holding this structure pretty well. Yeah, man. Have a good night, Toe. Take care of your dog. Sorry about that. The weekly close here on Wrapped was decent too, with a nice long wick there. Interesting. Pulse X with the breakdown back to the range low. This could be a fake break back into the structure. Could be something like that potentially. We got the 3-day bullish divergence down here too to kind of propagate this move. Bitcoin, yeah, Bitcoin just kind of holding for now. Doji candle on the weekly. This thing, yeah, we'll see how this plays out. We need Tether. You really just need Tether to break down, is what it is. Yeah, I would say that it looks fine right now. It hasn't really got, like, I think we just closed a 3-week candle too. There was a long wick on the 3-week candle. It is a tricky weekly candle, but this 3-week candle here is giving you a little bit of a clue, right? We got a nice long wick here. We're actually holding above the 3-week Kijun line. And this could propagate a move to this region here, this $100,000 region, maybe even tag 102, this fib level here. We'll see how that plays out. Well, we can look at orbs. Yeah, sure. Oh, that's the stock that's long a bunch of WorldCoin, right? Yeah. Yeah. Sitting on a weekly support, that is for sure. That is a major level of support for orbs here. Okay, so Tom Lee also basically owns a bit of WorldCoin then. Isn't Orbs the company that also bought WorldCoin, right? You know what sucks, dude? This asset, do you remember me giving, this was called like 8Co or some crap. I remember giving a trade setup on it down here and it just didn't play out. And then all of a sudden, they just decided in September they were going to buy WorldCoin. This thing just went absolutely apeshit nuts. And we missed like a 50x trade. Just crazy. Man, that sucks. But yeah, I mean, this was a nice structure. If I recall this structure pretty well, that was the huge breakout point. Yeah, so you'll break out. If this is the backtest region, you would think a bit more consolidation down here before you actually maybe make another leg up or attempt another leg up. Okay. I'm not really seeing any real edge on this chart right now. Yeah, just yet. Yeah, we can look at MSTR. I think MSTR is set up for upside. If I've already kind of mapped it out. So we're in a channel. If it doesn't break the channel, it's just going to get rejected and come lower. Just kind of what I drew. I don't know. I obviously drew this going to the upside later, but that'd be great to see. We can kind of remove that for now, but I wouldn't be wanting to short MSTR here after that kind of a move down. You got white candles. You're oversold on the 3-day RSI. This is the area where you're going to see this probably bounce after a sell-off like that. This could bounce to the neckline here at 240 and get rejected, or if it really gets a lot of momentum and it can push all the way to the top of the channel somewhere here in this region before it get maybe sold off further. But right this very moment, I wouldn't be looking to short that. No shot. Not at a major support level like that. Yeah, or even clipping down here on the 3-day. Like this is the area where you would actually probably strategize to take maybe a long trade on MSTR. Not financial advice. The 242 regions maybe on MSTR. That's pretty much it. We can look at that would mean BTC would have to rip. Yes, that's what I'm alluding to. That is what I'm alluding to. Yeah, we can check out Beyond Meat. Yeah, sure. Beyond Meat. Okay, yeah, I've had this plotted for a while. This was a massive falling wedge pattern that broke down. They snapped it back in and just dumped it. Okay, yeah, I mean, what? Trying to put a higher low in here, but you're making lower highs. Go to the weekly time frame here. Yeah. You could try, man. I just there's definitely better assets to trade than Beyond Meat, especially on an option, dude. Beyond wrecked, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this chart at all. Sure, maybe lower risk down here, but it's doing some volume now. 100 million in trading volume. Oh, I don't think we did IRIN actually. I would be careful with the Beyond Meat stuff, but yeah, okay, you could argue that the monthly stochastic is giving you a bit of a monthly bullish divergence there. This could maybe pan out in the coming months. Just want to maybe watch this too, and it's squeezed up to like what, $7 the other day. Yeah, and they just sold it right back down, dude. So just be careful with something like that. Yeah, it's probably a low risk option trade down here still. Yeah, we can look at ETH. IRIN real quick. We'll look at IRIN. Okay. Yeah, not a good monthly candle close there for IRIN last month. Still holding the weekly bull market support band there. I don't know, dude. This looks like it's overdue for a massive drawdown. Look at the money flow just coming down like that. Okay, very, very heated. I would be very cautious holding something like this right now. Okay, yeah, your weekly is resetting and stuff. Your monthly is kind of curling over. Your 2 week gave you a sell signal. Okay, you're making maybe the highest low you've ever made on this asset, but I'd be cautious with the money flow looking like that. I don't really see value in buying this up here. If you've been long this asset or whatever, it's fine. You could probably continue to hold it, but I would suspect some downside on this. Oh wow, you tagged the 1272. You're likely probably going back to $30, right? After you tag a major fib extension, you're probably likely going to go back to retest this region here, and maybe even a 2 standard deviation down move to like $20. That's possible. Okay. I could be completely wrong and this thing just, rip up again. But the way I see it is I don't really see value in buying it up here because of where it's at on the chart. The 2 week is just pointing straight down to on the RSI. The monthly is also doing the same. Okay, no bearish divergence or anything, which is why I'm saying you could come back down to like that $30 region and then, pivot there and then make a higher high on price and make your monthly bearish divergence later on for your, your blow off move, wherever that might be. If this wasn't already, I mean, you definitely can see that this had a volume climax already. All right. So that is something to take note of. Okay. Highest volume candle here, which happened to be your topping candle so far. And you're printing monthly counter trend short signals. Yeah, I'd be cautious with holding something like this right up here right now. And IONQ, you can take a look at that too. Yep. Probably similar story with this. Yeah, you even have monthly bearish divergence here on your stochastic RSI. That doesn't look too good. Yeah, you're still in a major uptrend, no doubt about it. But I would, again, be very cautious with something like this too. I don't know if you hit a major fib extension here. Oh, you did. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so you've tagged the first major fib extension off your all-time high breakout. Yeah, we can look at Moodang, sure. Yeah, all right. So IONQ is trying to bounce here. I do see the weekly stochastics for sure on that, coming back up maybe. But I would be cautious. This could come back up and fail. It could also just break out too. I mean, listen, when you're in a powerful uptrend like this, it's hard to be like, hey man, that's the top and you just sell it. I don't know if that was the actual top. I don't. But I do know that when it's extended like that, you just want to be cautious. Okay. And when you have like the bearish divergence coming in, it's kind of cluing you in, hey man, be cautious. You're in a major uptrend. You're going to get bearish divergence a lot when you're in uptrends like this. And yes, bearish divergence in uptrends usually underperforms, but you typically will get some sort of big drawdown before you end up going higher if it continues higher, right? And we can look at Moodang. What, the Coinbase chart or something on this? I forget. Chart of this. So at 9 cents, okay. I had a nasty scam wick. That's funny. I had this trend line, drew it, tagged it. Yeah, I mean, your daily's long right now. I'd be looking for a break about 12. If you do get a break above 12.8, maybe 13-cent region, that could take you back up to 17 cents for an actual breakout of this, whatever this is, flag pattern or something. Yep, money flow index, you can see it. It's coming up on the 3-day chart. Looks good. Got room to run there on the 3-day. You have tail end 3-day RSI bullish divergence. That's what's going to catalyze this move up for Moodang. Yeah, I'd be looking in these regions here. If you do, you can see continuation on something like this. All right. Cool. Nice. We got 10 people on the stream tonight. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. We'll take a look at Tether again here. Oh, we're gonna need to look at ETH real quick. Look at the ETH Bitcoin ratio. Okay, so ETH Bitcoin ratio actually is holding a major level of support. I would say it actually starting to maybe try to change its trend here on a 2-day time frame. Yeah, I mean, okay, well, we got a late weekly short there. I'm not really gonna pay too much attention to that. This weekly short was back here, but we're holding above the Kijun line, which is the key. Okay, we're holding above the weekly Kijun line, and we actually are also getting a weekly stochastic RSI cross. We haven't produced a buy signal just yet, but if this continues to materializes and holds these regions, we can actually, maybe project this going back up to 3.8, maybe up to 4% region. We'll look at Crow. We'll look at Kaspa. Let's see. So we could also look, in previous, bear markets, 2022 was the start of or was it? No, it was 2021. So 2021 was the start of the last bear market. ETH's Bitcoin ratio remained up here, which is interesting that it stayed so high on its ratio before plummeting all the way back down when Bitcoin ended up making new all-time highs, and ETH went all the way back down on its ratio here. But now it actually seems like it's trying to reclaim some of this momentum against Bitcoin going into this so far, this downtrend here. Yeah, we looked at Mudang. Kaspa. Yeah, we'll look at Kaspa. So what is that? That's KAS, right? Yeah. All right. So Kaspa had that, cup and handle to the downside here that played out. We got that long, nasty wick on that liquidation day. I don't really see any real edge on this chart right now, to be honest with you. I mean, okay, I guess you do have a bit of 2-week RSI, maybe divergence down here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you look at this. So to me, this looks like you broke a major support region around the 6-cent region here. Yeah, if you can start reclaiming 6 cents, then you can probably target back up to the top of the range eventually, because this to me looks like it just went like straight down. So like maybe if it does reclaim that, it can go straight back up with that divergence. Let's take a look at the money flow here. That might maybe give us a clue about that too. Let's see if this is on any other exchanges that I can actually plot money flow with. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, you got really extreme oversold here on the money flow, which is why you're getting this bounce. You had this back in March too, a similar type of oversold region there on money flow, which eventually did catalyze about 100% move. So yeah, maybe this does catalyze about 100% move. But that just takes you to basically another lower higher on 8 cents, which would be in line with this relief rally I'm talking about, by the way. So yeah, this thing could make a move like that, sure. This by no means does this chart look like it's ready to just do some crazy stuff. Not just yet. Yeah, I mean the monthly time frame here. I mean the monthly looks interesting actually on this too. If this can cross back up, then maybe you get some big shift here, but not just yet. This actually needs to hold this super trend on the monthly time frame. It's really all going to depend how Bitcoin does here, guys. If this ends up just being a relief rally, then these altcoins aren't going to really stand a chance to do anything conducive. They'll just make lower highs and continue down. We'll look at Crow, sure. I'm not currently in any options trades. I am currently in a little bit of Bitmine and Fuel Cell. Fuel Cell might be good, actually, for a potential option trade. I feel like maybe you missed the entry there the other day at $6 off that support, but I'm just in a spot trade on it. I'm not option trading this. I don't really like to option trade much, especially in this market condition right now. It's just there's a lot of uncertainty going on, and I don't really want to put myself in a leveraged position like that. So, but yeah, Fuel Cell might be good. This might be better than Beyond Meat. No offense. I mean, this is actually doing a lot less trading volume than Beyond Meat right now, but I don't know. That's why I'm just trading this on spot. We were looking to look at Crow. Sorry about that. Got a little sidetracked. So Crow. It's still trying to hold like these lows here. As long as you make higher lows than like 7.8 cents, I think you got a shot at maybe testing 16, right? So yeah, just see how that kind of plays out. WorldCoin, yeah. I don't really see any real edge on this chart right now. Breaking that range low is pretty bad, dude. That's pretty bad. If you can pop back above, 65 cents, then you can probably target the top of the range. That's a big range. All right. Damn. Pulse chain assets are flying off the chart right now. Sweet. Zcash. Yeah, not a fan of that up here right now. I think I even gave a short trade on this to like 250. I got close, man. What? We hit like $300 on that. Okay, yeah. So you got this major pullback. The bearish divergence played out. Bubble risk kind of tapered off there. That's good. You did get a weekly TSI cross. Be aware of that. 2 week coming down, the 3 week coming down. The monthly is still way in the moon. Monthly RSI is still way up there. Yeah, you could say that this asset's still mega bullish. Sure it is, but Yeah, be careful with this up here. That monthly candle wasn't really a good candle close, like long wick like that. Okay, I get it. You're coming back down to back test this. You could go sideways a bit. You could even start catching bids here because it's so bullish. Sure, you could. I'd watch to see how this develops. You broke this uptrend here, this channel, if you will. Okay, so maybe wait and see how this does. If this consolidates more, finds a floor somewhere, you know, yeah, it just looks higher risk up here, man. Like you had dudes that probably bought this thing at like 20, 30 bucks and they just got a 20 some X on it and just offloaded it up there. Just saying. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this right now, but it could end up being fine. It just, it needs to sort of base out and find a nice consolidation. The Say blockchain might be good down here. Okay, I was looking at this. Now you might want to wait for this to actually come down to its range low. If it gets there around 9-10 cents, if it gets there, this could be interesting. I know there's some adoption with this, with the governments and stuff. This could be interesting if this actually gives you a really good entry. Although I think this might already be in that realm of potential good entry. Yeah, it broke this major level of support. You probably shouldn't be doing anything with this thing until it really reclaims, 14 cents, this region here. But the weekly stochastic is starting to maybe cross back up here. Your 2 week is also in the buy zone. This could reverse pretty quickly if bids start flying into this market. It just looks low risk. That's all I'm trying to say. Again, you probably want to wait for a more of a confirmation on that. You even have, that's interesting. You have the bullish divergence here. So, okay, yeah, you're in a pretty big downtrend, but you've done what, like an 88.6% retracement here. This is like probably value zone for this asset, and right on the money. 88.6% retracement. This is where a lot of reversals can potentially happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying it could potentially happen here. So just monitor this. You are, again, you're not in, deep bubble risk territory up here. You're in the blue zone, right? You're in low risk territory here on bubble risk. You're on a low risk area on charts here, right? Like this is how you strategize. Maybe you believe in this asset longer term. This is maybe where you would want to start paying attention to it for a long-term accumulation or something. And also, INJ, I think is also in the same maybe category of that. This had a major run back here. We call this out in 2022. We gave a major swing trade on it. You guys know that. This also, to me, is in that accumulation zone right now. Oversold weekly RSI. Like, when was the last time it did that? Oh, at the previous bottom. Right? Like, okay, can it continue down more if this market continues to go down? Yes. But, this could potentially be a good place to start, a DCA strategy or something if you're interested in that. It's not like in the moon already. It's already 90% drawdown from the top. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that this is like a must thing right now or whatever, but just pay attention to it. Maybe start paying attention to stuff when it becomes this oversold. Your weekly's oversold, your 2 weeks oversold, your 3 week is in the oversold territory, your monthly is probably in the oversold territory. Yeah, I mean, you're not getting any buy signals or anything like that. And then this thing can continue to go down, if we're going to continue to be, in downtrending market. But what did it do last cycle? It did a 95% drawdown. So if it does something similar, a 95% drawdown is back to like $3. So you're already kind of you're getting there is what I'm trying to say, right? You're at 540. So what? Maybe you wait a couple more months to maybe accumulate this thing. Sure. Monthly RSI is already at a 37 reading. This is, in my opinion, this is already the buy zone, right? Cool. Well, hopefully you guys got some good value here tonight. We've been live for over an hour. Yeah, I mean, you can see that even on the monthly here, this is still, in favor of bearish activity. You would want to wait for that to actually start to show signs of weakness on the sell pressure. But again, I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to sit down here, weekly RSI oversold forever? Probably not. You're going to get some mean reversions. You're going to get some bounces along the way. You might get something like this to $12 before you then make that low. Something like that could happen. So you could get some short-term trades in here that might be good. But yeah, you're definitely trading against the trend right now. All right. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, and hopefully we do get some sort of relief in this market. I think we're staging some sort of relief, at least maybe for a couple weeks, maybe into the end of the year here. That'd be good to see. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate you guys' time, and I'll catch you guys next week.
Hey everyone, you've landed on the Swing Trade Pros website here. My name is Mr. Know-It-All. I've been an active swing trader for over 7 years. I want to welcome you guys all to the community here. My goal is to change 1 million people's lives with swing trading and trading profitably. This is a skill set you can learn here with the service. You go check out the testimonials in Discord. You can see lots of folks talking about the service and how the trade calls are super profitable. You can check Profit Gains channel. I think we've amassed around $150,000 worth of profits in the last year posted in the Profit Gains channel just from other users and traders in the community. I'd like all of you guys to check out the 14-day free trial. A coupon code will be pinned in the comment section below this video, so check it out. And we'll take you through 14-day free trial process here. You come down to the website, save 44%, and claim your 14-day free trial. Click on that. And that will take you to the Swing Trade Pros website where you can click sign up now. And after your 14-day free trial is up, on the 15th day, you will get billed, full disclosure of that. And I appreciate you guys all joining the community. It will change your lives. Give it a chance. A lot of these swing trades can take months. One of our biggest trades of the year last year was INJ. We took an entry at $1.60, and well, that asset's trading over $35 today. So that was one of the banger trades that I pointed out. My strongest pattern that I trade that I'm known for is the falling wedge. I call it the falling node wedge pattern. Lots of divergence on these charts, and that's what makes these patterns really play out. And you guys are going to be able to really learn that in the service, and I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the charts.